Hello everybody. So I wanted to address the concerns about 3 allegations of cheating by India in the first test at Nagpur. Now I say 3 because there has just been a third one announced where Australia had asked the Indian cricket team if they could practice on the Nagpur pitch for day 4, or what would have been day 4. The Indian cricket team said sure, no worries. When Australia went out to train on the early morning of day 4, they found that a curator had watered the pitch. They said it was an accident. Innocent mistake, but you sort of feel like, yeah, no, it wasn't an innocent mistake at all. It was more them going, hee, we can do what we want, we're jerks. Was that cheating? Technically no. Was it unfair behaviour? Absolutely. It was really rotten behaviour, and India did that in 2017 as well. I mean, in 2017 India had a practice match that was completely different to the test match. The practice match bounced all over the place, no spin at all. The actual test match spun like crazy. It was a doctored pitch as well, and yeah, Australia still won, but that's why Australia didn't practice or didn't do a practice match in India. They did it at home, so don't trust Indians after they cheated last time. So let's now look at the evidence and whether there's any chance that India wasn't cheating. Well, that one wasn't cheating, it was just bad behaviour. Of course, you sort of expect better treatment to visiting sides, but they're technically allowed to do that. Other teams don't, gotta say. If you go to Pakistan, you were treated like a member of the royal family. Go to India, they're like, hee, and they make fun of you and they abuse you like that. So, not the same treatment. And, yeah, not very friendly, not hospitable, pretty cruel really, but not cheating. But were the other 2 things of cheating? What was their actual pitch doctoring? I'm going to say there was, and because, we just got to clarify this, what we had was that the right side of the pitch on a length was watered normally, the left side was left dry. Now, if both sides had been left dry, it wouldn't be pitch doctoring. That'd just be a pitch that was a bit hard to play on, spun like crazy, but fair to both sides. That's not pitch doctoring. I mean, it is if it's a bit too turning and it's not normally turning that much, like they did in 2017. But this was specifically at the left hand. Now, why does that make a difference? Well, number one, because India has Ravi Ashwin, who's the best bowler to left-handers in the world. So, it advantaged him, made it easier for him to bowl. Also, Ravindra Jadeja and Axar Patel as well, they're pretty good at bowling to the left-handers. But surely Australia could have had a bowler that's good at bowling to left-handed, and they could have. If we'd been told in advance, told a month before when we announced the squad and said, hey, you're going to be playing on a pitch that is a rank turner and is really unfair to left-handers, we would have said, oh, are we going to either drop all of our left-hand batsmen or only consider the ones that think that they can handle that? And we would have changed our lineup. If we were playing against that, we would have changed our lineup. We probably would have also tried to find a bowler who's good at bowling to left-handers and played them. Now, we didn't because, I mean, we weren't expecting that. We hadn't been told. It's not normally like that. So that's what they mean by doctoring. Doctoring is where you sneakily change the condition of the pitch to favour your team. And do you think other teams do that? Did Australia do that when we played in Brisbane? And Brisbane was knocked to merit points because the match was over in 2 days. Well, that wasn't doctoring. That was just a poorly prepared pitch that favoured the bowlers more than the batsmen. So the rule is, you expect to have a match that lasts 4 days on average. So if it's over on the 4th day, that's okay. If it's over towards the end of the 3rd day, bit dodgy, but that's probably okay. Over at the start of the 3rd day or on the 2nd day, well, that's a bit too good for the bowlers. And of course, on the other side, if a match doesn't finish and doesn't look like finishing and it's not because of rain, then it's too good for the batsman. So you don't want that either. But that's not pitch doctoring. That's bad. But pitch doctoring is when it favours one side. And just to be clear here, the ICC have done things about pitch doctoring in other countries. In the West Indies, we had a match where the ball was just going crazy and they had 3 English wickets fall in 5 overs, I think it was, and it was just crazy to bat on. And they abandoned the match and said, well, we're going to have this at a different venue in a week's time. So it wasn't their fault, it wasn't pitch doctoring, but it was unfair to play on. And we've had this happen a few times when it was unfairly easy to bat on or unfairly bad to bat on, and if the umpires figured it out early enough, they would abandon the match. And it's also open to them, if they consider that it was done on purpose, they could abandon the match and award points, well, Test Championship points, to the opposing side, to the visiting side. So there were three options actually available to them. The first option, before all that abandoning stuff, is to try to fix the condition of the pitch. We have seen this happen, where you will get sawdust put onto different spots, or they will apply a bit more water, or they'll apply a heavy roller or something to try to fix the pitch. That option was available to the ICC. Now, I don't know if it would have been able to fix the pitch. If it couldn't have fixed the pitch, they would have had the option of either abandoning it and saying, well, find a better venue, or abandoning it and awarding the points to Australia. They were the three options, but instead they did nothing. Does this happen all around the world? No. What would happen if it did happen all around the world is that Test cricket would be unwatchable. You would not be able to play at home, because you would know that playing at home you'll win every match. And only really weak sides would have a chance, like if they hosted, so you'd only go to the really weak sides, because then there'd be a chance of a fair match. Really strong sides going to really weak sides countries who we know are going to cheat, and then you'd have a fair match. Strong sides wouldn't get to host, because we know that they would make the pitches so good for them that it would be unwatchable. And you'd probably start having neutral venues. You wouldn't be playing at home. You'd be fighting Australia versus India in England, because you don't want to play in Australia or Australia or India. And that doesn't happen, and we don't want that to happen, because that kind of blatant cheating ruins the sport. So India are not only ruining it for Australia visiting, they're actually ruining it for everyone. And the proper solution to this sort of behaviour, if this is continuing and if the ICC refuse to do anything about it, is to refuse to play against India. I would say, if there is even a hint of any more cheating in the second test, Australia should walk out. I'm not saying forfeit it, because it is clearly India's fault, and India should be deducted points for it, and walk out, refuse to play, go back to your hotel rooms and say, all right, ICC, either you fix this or we leave. And complain to the ICC, say this is not on, this is blatant cheating, you're not doing anything about it. Demand for India to be banned from hosting Test cricket, if not from playing Test cricket, until this issue is resolved. Now, India might say, oh, we've got all the money, come here, sucks to be you. Well, Australia has enough that they don't need India. And we could be finding that India will be hosting nobody. Or maybe West Indies if they want to get a lot of money. But we will be finding you'd have fair cricket and you'd be having Indian cricket. India do not have the right to make cheating cricket. It's not acceptable. And, you know, that's the thing. Now, I look at the Ravindra Jadeja one, where he applied ointment to his finger. Now, he was injured. But, okay, you can have treatment before the match. Even more a bandage if you've asked permission. But he had this ointment on the field, sneakily brought it out, and applied it while he had the ball in his hand. And then put that ointment onto the ball. Now, they said, oh, it didn't change the condition of the ball. I'm sorry, that next ball, he bowled Marnus Labuschagne. The ball after that, bowled Matthew Renshaw. He took 5 wickets while doing that. How can you say that that wasn't ball tampering? Even if it didn't permanently change the condition of the ball, it still did for long enough for him to take his wickets. That's ball tampering. He was found guilty. He was fined 25% of his match fee. And he didn't just do it in isolation. The captain, Rohit Sharma, was clearly in on it. He was giving him the ointment. Now, that is cheating. That's against the rules. Found guilty by the match referee. Indians say that's fine. That's okay. That's nothing. I'm sorry, it wasn't nothing. It was quite a big deal. But ICC just didn't do enough about it. What they should have done is, when they found out about it, they should have said, well, I'm sorry, but we're going to ban you for 3 matches for that. And in fact, Rohit Sharma, we're going to ban you for 2 matches for condoning it. And we're also going to say to you, you're not allowed to bowl. As soon as they found that out, yeah, Australia was already 5 wickets down. Take Ravindra Jadeja out of the attack, don't let him bowl for the rest of the match. Because he's clearly cheating. That was what could have happened. Now, if it not permanent damage to the ball, other bowlers can bowl. But that's what was supposed to happen. That's what the law says. The ICC cricket law. They didn't do it. It's one rule for every other team and another rule for India. That's not on. India needs to be removed from Test cricket until they can stop cheating. Now, that's it. If they're okay away from home, let them play away from home. Don't let them host. We don't let Afghanistan host because of security issues. We haven't let Pakistan host until recently. Don't let India host until they stop cheating. Simple as that. Anyway, they can play on a neutral venue. Play on the UAE. Play somewhere as long as it's not cheating. That's it from me. Bye bye now.